And I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so this is, again, last of the 7 webinars. This one is Google Chrome extensions and add-ons to enhance learning. So my name is Leslie Brophy. I'm a Google for Education certified trainer. So today we're going to talk about add-ons and extensions. It is great. I don't know what I would do without add-ons and extensions. And I'm also going to talk about some other kind of little features to look for that you might not be aware of in Google Chrome itself. Okay, so what is the difference between a web app, an extension, and an add-on? So just so we're clear on the terminology, an application or an app would be Google Docs or Google Slides, Google Sites, Google Forms. So those are the larger standalone web programs, all that fall within the Google Workspace for Education core apps. Then there are extensions. So extensions are smaller helper tools that give more features in Chrome. So we're going to look at this a little bit more in detail shortly. And the next are add-ons. So add-ons give extra tools within an application like docs, sheets, forms, and slides. So they work specifically within an application as opposed to an extension that gives added features within the whole Chrome browsing experience. Okay, so a little more about extensions. So according to the G Suite developer site, extensions are small software programs that customize the browsing experience. So to install an extension, you always need to be logged into Chrome. And I'm going to kind of just start with this because I think there's always a lot of confusion with this. I am in a Chrome web browser. Up here on the right, you could see my Chrome profile picture. If I click on it, it will give my Gmail account that's associated with it. And it says sync is on. So what sync does, it allows you to sync across anywhere you're logged into your this Google account, all your bookmarks, all your extensions. It remembers your history across devices. So there's a lot of benefits to syncing your account. For example, I have multiple locations in my district, so I sync to the different computers in my district on the laptop, which I'm on right now, even within my mobile device. So if I'm in my Chrome browser, it can see it. Now, extensions do not work on a mobile device, or does not work on iOS, I should say. But you want to make sure that you're synced, and you could have multiple accounts. As you could see here, I have multiple Google accounts, and I could just switch between the two. And when I switch, I try to switch an entire window. So this is my work. I try to switch between, so I keep all my Google accounts all within a window. And it kind of saves from adding a lot of confusion when logging into different accounts. So to get an extension, so we're going to talk about adding extensions. The first thing you could do is the 3 dots to the right of where your profile picture are. You have a lot of options. If you scroll down to more tools and then extensions, this would be a list of all the extensions that I have on this account. Again, I have multiple accounts. This is just on this account. I always know what account I am because you could see my profile picture up on the right-hand corner. So once you download extensions, you have the ability to toggle them on and off. If you notice, my extensions, not all of them, but some of them are up here, and I could click on it and you could see that it shows up. I also have the ability to remove extensions. So if I wanted to add an extension, I would go to a new tab and I would go to the Chrome. I just Google Chrome Web Store and I click into it. That brings you to a store that has tons of different extensions for you to add on. Although we're not covering it today, Kami is a great one. So if I wanted to go to Kami, I could click in, or I could do a search. If I went back in here, I could have went to the top. If I was looking for something specific, I would do a search for it. So let's just, for argument's sake, I do Kami. It's going to show up. I could click into it, and I have the ability to add it to Chrome. But before I do that, I could also go down and look. There's usually some kind of an overview, in this case, a video with different pictures that are associated with that extension. There's also an overview down here, when it was, what version it's on, when it was last updated. It brings you to the website. So there's a lot of information, as well as reviews. I would always look into reviews, and you need to be somewhat cautious when you're downloading third-party extensions or applications for security reasons. So if I wanted this one, I can click on Add to Chrome, and I'm going to get this little pop-up, Add Kami to Google Chrome, and I would just click on Add an extension. Now, if you're within your district, there are extensions that could be disabled by your district that you will not be able to get. You would have to reach out to your district in order to get them. So some districts are much more strict with what they can download or not. On your personal account, you have the ability to download whatever you want to download. So that is how you add an extension. Now, once I add the extension, if you look over here on the top, I have this little puzzle piece. If I click on it, it gives me a list of all my extensions, and there's a little pin to the right. So if I pin it, it adds it to the top bar for easy access to it. So some things I might want to pin, and other ones I might want to toggle off. If I click on the more actions, the three dots, I can bring it to manage extensions, or I can unpin it, or I can remove it completely from Chrome. So you have some options from there as well. So that's basically how you add an extension. Again, if I wanted to uninstall it, I can click on it. I could go to the right, and I would remove it from Chrome, and it would be gone. Okay. All right, so how to use an extension. Once you've installed an extension, it will show up to the right of the web address in Chrome. Okay, so in here, up here. Again, if you download it onto your one account, and then you go onto your computer, different computer, and you are syncing your that Google address, all your extensions will automatically show up, as well as your bookmarks. Your bookmarks are along the bottom bar. So depending on the features of the extension, you might have to click or right-click on the icon to get it started. Right-clicking often reveals additional options as well. So for example, and we'll look at Screencastify, if I right-click on it, I have some options of what I can do with it. So otherwise, if I wanted to access it, I would left-click on it. And I'm going to show you a couple of these extensions shortly. So again, to remove it, you would go to the three dots, manage extensions, and you can either just toggle it off, or you can remove it. An option would be to just toggle it off if it's something that you just don't use all the time. But keep in mind that if you have tons of extensions on here, it is going to slow down your device a little bit. So if you're not using it or don't use it that often, you might want to just turn it off. Or if it's an extension you just never use, you might want to just remove it. You could always re-download it again. So the first extension I want to go over is not very well known, but it could be used in so many different ways. It's called Insert Learning. It allows teachers to turn websites into an interactive online lesson. Teachers and students can add annotations, embed videos, websites, add maps, quizzes, discussions, and more. It is a freemium, and we'll talk about this often, as many tech tools. It is free for basic, and then you can pay to get added features. You could also assign this to a Google Classroom, and it is compatible with iOS as well as Android. So we'll take a look at what this looks like. So I'm just going to move this little screen out of my way. So I'm going to click on a it's a science blog article that I might want to use in the classroom. If I click on insert learning, I got it right. Okay, it's right here. Okay, sometimes it'd be here, but I did pin it. I would click on it. When I click on it, I get this little toolbar over here to the left. I could have some abilities when I hover over it. So we'll kind of look at these a little quickly. Assign is when it's done and I'm ready to assign it to a class. I have the ability to highlight text. So if I click on it, and I can highlight certain areas of a text that I want to highlight. I think I toggled it off. Highlight certain text that I might want to highlight for my students. I could insert a sticky note. So maybe in here, I click in and I want to insert a sticky note. And I kind of click on it and then I click in. Okay, so I highlight the text. Now I have the ability to add one of many things. I could type text. I could paste images. I could paste links to YouTube links. So maybe I want to paste a YouTube video that has to do with this article. I can embed code, so I can do many things. Here is a camera. I can take a picture of something and I could embed that in as well. I'm going to do that in here. I could also insert questions. Maybe after reading certain things of the article or maybe looking after this chart, I might want to click on insert a question to kind of check for understanding. So I click on the question, I click on it, and I'll get my question feature that shows up. So I could click on the arrow, and there's some pre-made ones here. Write one question that you thought of based on the text, skim the text. So there's a lot of ones that are built in here. And I could just click it in and I could hit create. So it puts it into a question. And once I send it out, the students would respond to this. In addition, you could insert a discussion. So I could take an insert a discussion, highlight over an area, and then write what the discussion is, and I can create it. Under more options, I have some options here. I can now share it with other teachers. So if I had a co-teacher in the classroom, I could edit the lesson. I could view what it looks like as a student. So I'm going to do this to show you what it looks like. So if the student went in, they would see all this and they would be able to click in and they would be able to answer all the questions that have to do with the article. Let's see, resume to teacher view. Okay. If I wanted to share this with my students, I could click on assign to students. I could click on Google Classroom and right from Google Classroom, I can go and you would want to allow it for the first time. And I have the ability to find my class and share this link. The student would click on the link and they would be able to access the article. So that is insert learning. Okay, the next one is a newer extension and I'm loving it. I think there is nothing like it out there and I think it's gonna kind of be big and you're gonna be seeing it a lot more in the not so distant future. So this extension is called Mote. Mote is a Chrome extension that makes it easy for anyone to add voice notes and feedback to documents and assignments. Mote is integrated into Google Docs, Slides, and Sheets, as well as Google Classroom for easy recording and playback. The notebook, actually it's called Motebook, allows you to easily add voice notes. So I just want to show you what this looks like in action. So I'm going to go to Google Classroom. There's a big need. So we know that when we provide feedback to students, it's always good and motivating. Sometimes it could be a lot to type in text notes every single time. So I'm just going to go into a Google Classroom class. I could go into an assignment. And as I go into the assignment, I can click in, view the question. Anywhere that there is comments, whether it be class comments, private comments, or even if you were providing feedback within an assignment, you're going to see this little mote symbol show up. So if I wanted to send this out and say, okay, class comments, maybe they just weren't handing in something correctly or wanted them to focus on something, all I would have to do is click to record. Oh, it's going to ask me to sign in for the first time. Once you're done, you should be good. So I just got to sign in as a teacher. You're going to acknowledge it and sign in with Google. Okay, so going back in here. So once I'm in here and I want to add something to the class comments, I click to record. Great job on this assignment. Remember when you're reflecting to answer all of the questions. Then I hit done and it automatically generates a link with a code. So on the student side, they would go in, they would see that there are class comments, they would click on it and it would play it back. So the way Mote works, if the student has the extension, they'll be able to respond using Mote the same way. But even if they don't have the extension, or if they're on a mobile device like an iPad, they could click on the link and the link will bring them into the audio. So it's a great, easy way to provide feedback very easily. So again, this works in Classroom. It works in Docs. One of the better features I love is I could go into Google Slides and easily create an audio in Google Slides if I wanted to do one in each page, or I could do it in the comments. So let me just kind of quickly show you what it looks like in the comment section. So I'm going to go to a new tab and I'm just going to go to Slides. So if I was in here and a student did some work and I wanted to make a comment, let's type this in here. I could highlight text. I can click on the comment just like I would in Docs. Move this out of the way. Oh, it's not showing up here. Oh, here we go. All right, took a second to load. So if I wanted to click on the comment section, I can add it in here. So this would be within comments, but you could also see it up here in Slides. So if I click on it up here in Slides, it's an easy way to add audio to Google Slides, which you were able to do prior to this, but it was not as easy. So I'm just gonna, it's getting permission to go through so I could show you what this looks like. Not making it easy for me. All right, I'm going to X out of here. Basically, what it does is I would click on here. Is it going to let me do it? Oh, it's asking me to sign in again. Okay, so I did just give it permission to access it. Confirm and allow. Okay. So now if I go in, hopefully this is going to work. I have the ability to add audio. So let's say I have a project here and I want to give audio directions. I could click up here in Mote and record my Mote. For this project, I would like you to add a slide, and for each slide, make sure you include an image and text as well as audio describing what you did on each slide. So now it's thinking, and now you're ready to insert it. So I could click on insert. It's creating the audio and it's here. So you notice I get this little icon with an audio with a play button. And I have some options for what I want to do over here. So again, in the past, I was able to insert audio, but I would have had to grab the audio from somewhere else. This makes it almost seamless to be able to do right into a slide. And the last thing on Mote that I would like to show you is called a Mote Book. So if I click up here on the extension, I could record a Mote voice note. So I could click up here, and again, just like the other, I can create a voice note and hit done. And it automatically saves it, and I can copy it, and I could paste it anywhere that you can paste it. So if I wanted to paste it in another area, in a Gmail or email or anywhere that you can just copy and paste, you can put that voice note. In addition, with some of the added the premium features, you have the ability to transcribe. So this would be great in many languages. I don't even know how many languages there are, but this allows you to work really well with your ENL population, or as well as world languages. So many uses to this. Every time you create one, you could go into your activity and engagement and see everything that you created. You could also see if your students listened to your Motes. So great new tool. Surprised it's not already embedded into Google, but as of now, it is not. But a very, very useful tool that could save you tons of time as a teacher providing feedback to your students. The next extension is called Save to Keep. If you are not familiar with Keep, it is an organizational curation tool, and it is part of Google Workspace's core apps. It is a great tool. I use it mostly to save websites and curate information into a place. So I don't want to go too much into Google Keep because we could be doing an entire webinar on that. But just to show you, I'm going to click in here. And you have multiple ways to get to Keep. Like any of the other applications, I could go to keep.google.com or go to my waffle, scroll down, and there is Keep. It's going to bring, and so it's like a note-taking, reminders. You can have labels. So I can easily take a note by clicking in, title it, give information. I can put reminders down. I can add collaborators. I can make it a color. I can add an image if I would like to add an image. I could also take a picture if I was on a different type of a device and take a picture of a worksheet, archive it, as well as other options. I could add a label, add a drawing, and I could have checkboxes as well. And if I click on the pin, it pins to the top. So lots of things I could do in Google Keep. My main use for it, and there are many uses for it, it could be a to-do list, but I mainly use it to curate information, things I want to remember to keep and have access to later on. Mostly for me, it would be tech tools. So the extension, going back to the extension, will allow me to, I don't think it's pinned right now. So I'm going to scroll down and manage it. Let's see, I have it in here somewhere. It's actually, I don't even have it on here. Save to Keep would just be, I would open up a website or whatever I have open that I would like to keep. All I would do is click on the icon up here, and it would automatically save it into my Google Keep. I have the ability to give it a title or a label, and it saves all my information. I mostly use my district-wide one, which is why I didn't have the extension installed here. But very handy, very easy to be able to save information on the fly. So that would be the use for the extension. So Edpuzzle, which many of you I'm sure are familiar with or are already using, there is a Chrome extension for Edpuzzle. And at the very least, what this allows you to do is, if I go to YouTube and I find a video in YouTube that I want to share with my classroom and bring into YouTube, and I'm just going to grab anything right now. if I click in it, if you
For
notice,
just $67.
if you notice, I get this little pop-up in YouTube that says edit with Edpuzzle. So I can literally click on it. It's going to take that video. It's going to bring it right into Edpuzzle, and I could start adding my questions or whatever interactive features that I want to add into Edpuzzle. So very simple extension. All it does is it adds this little button right in YouTube, which allows me to bring it right into Edpuzzle. Screencastify. So again, this could be an entire, probably 3 webinars on Screencastify. Screencastify is a screencasting extension for Google Chrome. It allows you to record your screen activity for creating tutorials, etc., and runs entirely in Chrome. You can record, edit, annotate, store, and share video screen captures. You can record a specific tab or your whole desktop or just your webcam. And now you could export directly, I keep getting blacked by my little thing, into Edpuzzle. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of this tool. Again, it's going to be a quick overview because we could spend days on here. So let's say I want to record how to do something. So I'm going to click into just this blank slide. And I'm going to click over here. So this is the icon up here. When I click on it, a little pop-up is going to show up. And the first time I do this, you're going to have to log in with your Google, and you're going to have to allow your camera. You're also going to have to allow your microphone. So a few options show up. Now, I didn't say this is, again, another freemium account. My district has a premium account. If you're just using the base free account, you have a 5-minute limit per video, or you can upgrade for unlimited recording. So once I pull up this tab, I have a few options. I'm going to give you an overview of that, and then I'll show you how to record a screencast. So you can record a tab, your entire desktop, or your webcam, depending on what you're looking to do. If you're just recording within a browser, I would just do tab. Usually I end up recording an entire desktop. You would want to enable or disable your microphone. You could select your microphone, and I would use the built-in, and you could kind of see that it's working because you could see the green button going up and down. You could embed a webcam into your screencast if you choose to do so. You have other options. You could count down. So what will happen is when I hit record, it's going to count down 3, 2, 1, but I can also change that setting as well. There are drawing tools that are built in that I could use during my recording, and I can have a tab audio. So if I was going to play audio within the screencast, you'd want to toggle that on. Before we record, I'll just show you some of the other things. If I click up here, I have more options. My recordings is all the recordings that I've done in this account. I have access to go in. I can edit them. I can combine them together. I can crop them. There's a lot of options in the editing. It has gotten way more robust than when I first started using Screencastify. Go Unlimited is to pay for the premium version. There are additional options. I could go into the editor where, again, I have the ability to edit my screencasts. Screencastify Submit is separate in a way that you add projects to your students. Students do Screencastify assignments, and it all kind of piles in together into one area to manage your classroom projects. So again, there's tons of stuff in here. I don't want to go too much into it. Okay. Some other options. These are all my recordings, some notifications, and I have some additional settings here. So to record, all I simply do is click on record. It's going to count down. Now it's recording everything I do. So whatever I add, I would just type. I could move from tab, anything that I'm recording. It's recording. Maybe I'm saying directions. Maybe I'm showing them how to access a website. So, or maybe I have an entire Google slide presentation and I'm talking them through the presentation. When I am done, I click back up here. It's going a little slow because we are on a Zoom session while I'm doing this. Now it's going really slow, so hopefully it's going to come up. All right, it's not stopping. Hopefully it'll stop soon. Okay, so that would be, and once I hit stop recording, it's automatically going to go up. It's going to replay. I could delete it and re-record it, or I could just immediately get it in. I would like to get this up so I could show you. So I don't know why it's going slow. Let's see if I can. It's not, doesn't want to stop. It wants to just keep recording. Okay, so you would click on it and you have the ability to crop it. Now here it goes. Okay, your tab is being recorded. I'm going to stop. So once I stop it, it took me longer. Normally it's very quick, but I think because I'm on the Zoom session, it took a lot longer. So right now it untitles it. I could click in here and I could change the name. Thing that I'm recording, it's recording maybe it. I'm saying directions, maybe, yeah. Okay, so here we go. I have the ability to use the scissors to crop it if I wanted to crop it. And then over here to the right, I could immediately get a shareable link. But you want to make sure when you're doing Screencastify, it kind of works like your other Google applications where you need to change the settings for permission. So I could do private, public, or unlisted. Every screencast that you do automatically saves in your Google Drive. There is nothing you need to do. It automatically saves there. And I could grab this shareable link and that's it, paste it anywhere, and there is my screencast. So super quick and easily, and it integrates really well with Google products. In addition, if I wanted to quickly add this to an assignment, I can just quickly go up here, create, or maybe just material because I'm giving audio directions. If I click on add and Google Drive, and it's under recent, it's going to show up immediately. So there's my untitled presentation. I can double click on it and there we go. My video is easily installed in there. So super quick, easy to do. Also, it's easy to publish it to YouTube. You just connect it for the first time. You can get an embed code. You could send it in email. And you have other options. I'm going to say you could generate a QR code, share it to Classroom from in here, and then you could download it, export it as MP4, export the audio only, and export it into a GIF. So again, then you could open an editor. So I don't want to go into too much, but you could do a ton of stuff. Screencastify, if you go directly to their website, there are tons of tutorials and courses and how Screencastify can be used in the classroom. Okay, moving on, Read and Write. So Read and Write is a program by a company called TextHelp that is great for your learners with special needs. So it allows you, this again has to be on a Chrome web browser, although it did recently come out with an iPad with not as many functions. It allows your students to use tools such as text-to-speech, predictive text, picture dictionary, translator, quick definition, and study skill tools. It is great for students with learning difficulties, students with disabilities, and ENL students. So I'm going to jump over because I have a full account on my work account. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. So let's say I want to go to a, well, I'll just open up anything right now. Let's see. Whoop. I'm just going to pull up like a Newsela right now. Okay, so if I assign something for my student, this could be a Google Doc, a Google Slide, it could be anything that you want to bring up. If I click on Read and Write, which is this little puzzle piece up here, again, you'd want to make sure it's pinned or activated, and I click on it. It's telling me to reload it. I'm just going to give it a second. So once I click on it, it's going to come up with a new tab. It's going a little slow. Here we go. Okay, so we'll get this little tab that shows up, and I'm going to just give a brief overview of this tool. If I hover over, I would get word prediction. So I can highlight a word. I'm probably not using, I got to go into a text here. Let's just go to this science blog because I think it'll work better. And it's all because it's on the main thing. Okay, so and again, this could be a Google Doc, it could be a PDF, it'll work on anything. So let's say we go back into that one blog that we were in earlier. And I could highlight a word. I'm gonna have to go back into it. These are going a little slow. I just started off. Okay, I can highlight a word, and then I could use the word prediction. I could hover speech. There's a dictionary. So if I click on it, I got a regular dictionary that shows up. I also have a picture dictionary that shows up. So great for your E&L students. I could play. So I could do the text to speech. So let's say I want to click on here. Oh, I'm getting all these little pop-ups right now. No, it's not going to let me get off here. Okay, I'm just going to try to do this quick to show you. I didn't pick the right thing. Okay, well, you would highlight it. Now I'm getting all these pop-ups here, which I don't want to do. You could highlight it. You can go into it. It will read the text out loud. So there's a ton of things you could do. Read and Write is free for teachers. You have to apply for a teacher account using your school email address. And then it's paid for your students. So that is Read and Write. In addition to Read and Write, and this kind of shows you what the tool is. So sorry about that. That was all over the place, but it's going slow on here. And then I'm switching between accounts. So there's word prediction, there's a dictionary, picture dictionary. This is the text to speech, read aloud features. There's speech input. You can hover over and spotlight certain areas to read. So for students who might have reading difficulties, that's a great tool. There is a translator built in as well as highlighters. You can bullet, you can add voice notes and practice reading aloud. So a lot of functions within Read and Write. It's a very powerful tool. The next one is also by TextHelp. It's called Equatio. It allows you to easily create math expressions, including equations and formulas. It's compatible with Google Docs, forms, slides, sheets, and drawings. Input via keyboard, handwriting recognition, or in voice dictation. So I know it sometimes can be very difficult for math to write or type your mathematical formulas. Equatio makes it super simple and easy. It also will use predictive text to see what you're trying to say. It has a feature that you can actually take a picture from your mobile device and upload it right to your desktop. You could hear the math expressions out loud, and you could create interactive digital math quizzes. It also has chemistry formula prediction. So I don't want to spend too much time going into this, but again, great if you teach chemistry or any type of a math teacher who needs to write some crazy math formulas. So next we're going to go more into an add-on. So an add-on, and I'm not going to play the video because we kind of went into debt, is increase in functionality, efficiency, or provides extra features to the various Google Workspace applications. So it's a little different. I'm going to kind of show you how to install it. So let's say I'm going to go into Google Slides, and for each application has a different set of add-ons. On the top menu, and it's in different places depending on the application that you're in. You have add-ons, and you would go down to get add-ons. That will bring you to a place that's similar to the Chrome Web Store. I could search, or I could just kind of scroll down. We're going to look at a couple of these right now, but to add them on, I'm trying to find one that I could add. Let's see. All right. Well, I already have a lot of these already on here. Let's just add Slido. Slave Slides as gifts. So we'll just click on here. Again, be careful what you're installing. You want to make sure they're third party, that you have for security reasons. But all I would do is click on install, and I would allow, give it to permission. It might ask me to log into my account, and then I would allow it. Now it's saying it has been installed, and I hit done. So where it shows up, let me just get out of here. Where it shows up is once I click in and I install it, these are all my different add-ons within Google Slides. So we're going to look at a few of these right now. So this is how I would access it. So we'll kind of go into now the different ones. And again, I could click in here to uninstall. I would go to manage add-ons, and I could get the ones that are installed. I could click on it and I can uninstall it. Again, the more you have, the slower it goes. So just try to keep only the ones on that you want to have on there. Okay. So for those of you who are using Nearpod, the add-on for Nearpod is great. It works really nicely. This was always one of the reasons that Nearpod, that I didn't love it quite as much, is because I had to create PDFs and bring PDFs into Nearpod for the slides itself. Now it's super easy to have my slideshow presentation, click on add-ons, and I go to Nearpod and open Nearpod. Let's see, what is it? It's asking me to just allow it. Usually once you add it once, you're good and you don't need to allow it again. Okay, so what happens is when I add the add-on, it shows up over here to the right. And what I'm able to do is add the interactive features of Nearpod. Right now it's making me sign in because I haven't used this one since it updated. You could add the interactive features right within here. It's asking me to update. All right, so I'm going to jump on over to my work account because it's going to work a little bit better. So if I go over here and I go into a presentation, so let me just quickly get into a presentation so I can show you what this looks like. I'm just going to try to quickly find one. Sorry. All right, here was a collaborative activity I did. So once I get it open, I'm going to click on add-ons. Of course, it's giving me a hard time. All right, this is not going. Oh, here we go. It's just taking a while for it to load. Nearpod. I'm just going to show you quickly because I still have a few more add-ons I'd want to go over with you before we end this session. I'm going to try to end on time. So again, you can add the interactive features right from in here. I think Chrome updated, which is why. Okay, here we go. So let's say I have my slideshow presentation. I click into like I'm adding a slide, but I have the ability now to add any kind of interactive features right from here. So if I click on collaborative board, it's automatically going to bring in the collaborative board. I can type whatever I want, and then I'm going to hit save it. Again, I could add everything, all the different features that Nearpod that you're used to. You could add them into the different sections. And then when you're done, you just click save and go to Nearpod. And what it does is it takes that Google slide presentation and it brings it right in here where you're familiar. If you're already using Nearpod, you're ready to go. If I want to go back and edit some of the slides and I click on edit, I could just click on edit. It's going to bring me right back to Google Slides and will give me the ability to go back in and edit. So that is the extension and add-on. There actually is an extension and an add-on for Nearpod. So for some of you guys who are using Nearpod, you have the ability to add it in here. I don't have the extension on my personal account, but instead of Kami assignment, it would say Nearpod assignment, and you can actually, it connects it right with your Nearpod and your accounts in Nearpod. Okay, these are a lot of smaller add-ons, but they could be very functional. Flat is a musical notation to your slides using Flat's editor and Google Slides. There is a add-on called Easy Accents. This add-on is available for docs and slides, allows you to easily insert accents for different languages directly from a sidebar in Google Docs. Again, it's also for Google Slides. Mail Merge, which is for Google Sheets. You can easily personalize emails. Unsplash Images is another great one. It gives you access to hundreds of beautiful images that are free for you to use. Form Limiter is an add-on for Google Forms. It shuts off a Google form after a maximum number of responses. So for example, if you can only have 100 people coming to something and they're applying to it, it will automatically cut off at the amount or at a specific date and time. So this is great. If you were sending out a Google form as a quiz, you want to cut it off at a specific date and time. If you put this Form Limiter add-on, you'll have the ability to do that. Timify Me enables tracking and turns Google Forms into an online skill assessment. You can embed a timer with custom durations and track start and submission time. So I didn't cover so many other ones that I use as well. Bitmoji is on here. Bitmojis are really popular. So you can add the Bitmoji extension, and that gives me the ability to, I'll just show this, to click in here. I have my Bitmoji that I set up on my phone, and I connect my account, and I have the ability to quickly and easily right click and copy. And then I can go in here and I can paste my Bitmoji in there. So that is it. We covered a lot of different add-ons and extensions. I hope this webinar was useful. And it was great having this Google Workspace winter series. I hope they were all helpful. And I hope I see you all soon. Thank you.